Hi children, how are you all? I hope you all are fine and safe during these lockdown days. Today, I am here to teach you the lesson, the Pickwick Club, and this is my first educational video. I hope you all would enjoy and learn from this video. So, welcome to my YouTube channel, Learning Made Easy. This is Mrs. Uma Mageshwari. Let's start with the lesson, children. The Pickwick Club. This is actually a huge novel written by Charles Dickens, and one episode from this novel has been taken and shortened for you by David Fowles. That's why it has been mentioned as Retold by David Fowles. Before we start with the lesson, we'll just have a glimpse about Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens was born in England on 7th February in the year 1812. He was born in a very poor family, and so he was pulled out of education at the age of 15. He started working in the boot polish factory to help his family. However, he was a great genius and emerged as a great novelist. Not only that, he was an editor in a newspaper, and he was also a great social commentator. A social commentator is a person who has the power to speak or write about the things happening in the society. By this, we can understand that Charles Dickens was a great genius of his age. Dickens wrote nearly 15 novels. Some of the novels are Oliver Twist, Nicholas Nickleby, and Great Expectations. Almost all his novels were very famous. He also wrote hundreds of short stories. He was such a genius that even the letters written by him to his friends or the other members in the society were very famous. His famous novel, The Pickwick Club, which has been prescribed here for you children, was actually named as The Posthumous Papers of the Pickwick Club. This novel was published between the years 1836 and 1837. It took nearly 20 months to complete the publication. The novel was published in 19 issues, 19 pieces. The episodes in the novel were split into 19 pieces and published. The novel has sequence of adventures taken up by Mr. Samuel Pickwick. To speak about this character, Mr. Samuel Pickwick is one of the most famous fictional characters in English literature. And in your lesson, in the beginning itself, he has been described as a lovable and endearing character. Endearing, it means an attractive character. So, definitely you would love this character in this lesson. And he is also described as a fine old gentleman. So, I think you children are very much eager to learn the lesson. Come on, let's start with the lesson, children. As the lesson begins, there is a description about Mr. Samuel Pickwick. The narrator describes Mr. Samuel Pickwick as a person who has bright eyes. Bright eyes is an indication of curiosity. Mr. Samuel Pickwick is a person who has curiosity to know about things around him. Samuel Pickwick has a large round face, a kind of friendly appearance, isn't it? And he also has a full figure. I want you children to underline this phrase. A full figure means a chubby person. So Samuel Pickwick is a full figure, a chubby person. He also has a generous heart. Who would you call as a generous person? A person who is very kind and who is ready to help others. So Samuel Pickwick is also a generous person. The narrator describes that Mr. Samuel Pickwick is dressed up in an old-fashioned way, and he also wears glasses. So it gives a kind of funny appearance to Mr. Samuel Pickwick. At the same time, he looks like a genius. In those days, people in England were very much interested in science. Likewise, Mr. Samuel Pickwick was also interested in science. He loved science. Not only that, he loved natural history. What is natural history? The study of plants and animals. He loved to study about plants and animals. Not only that, he also discovered the origin of Hampstead ponds. He discovered the starting point of the Hampstead ponds. So obviously, all his friends thought that he was a genius. They believed that he was a man with scientific knowledge. Mr. Pickwick and his friends joined together and started a club. They named the club as the Pickwick Club. The title of the club itself shows that Mr. Pickwick was the most important person in the club. Every now and then, Mr. Pickwick would conduct meetings and he would also address the members of the club. And he would gather information, he would share information with the members of the club. During one such meeting, the club members decided that Mr. Pickwick should go on special journeys. He should go to many places. He should take notes about the people he met, the things he saw, and whatever happened during the journeys. Not only that, he should even record about the thoughts that he got in his mind during these journeys. It was also decided that these notes should be sent through post, should be sent in the form of letters to the club members, and it has to be done from time to time. Children, underline the phrase from time to time. It means often. So Mr. Pickwick should send the notes very often, and the club members would read the notes. They would also arrange meetings. They would discuss the things given in the notes. Why should they allot Mr. Pickwick for these journeys? Because they believed that Mr. Pickwick's ideas would really have scientific touch. They believed that Mr. Pickwick was a great man of scientific knowledge. They decided that three more people would accompany Mr. Pickwick, and these three people were actually Mr. Pickwick's special friends. The first one was Mr. Tracy Tupman. Children, you must pronounce it as Tupman. The second person was Mr. Nathaniel Winkle, and the third person was Mr. Augustus Snodgrass. It was also decided that the expenses for the journeys, like the travel expenses, food expenses, and expenses for room, all these things would be taken care of by the club members. They would pay the money. So, Mr. Pickwick and his three friends need not pay anything. Doesn't it look interesting? And Mr. Pickwick and his friends can go anywhere and spend as much time as they wished. but on one condition. They had to start the journey the very next day. Children, the lesson has subheadings. The next subheading is the Pickwickians. Can you guess who are the Pickwickians? The club members. And here especially Mr. Pickwick and the other three friends who are going to accompany Mr. Pickwick. The narrator describes these three friends. He describes that these three friends are quite different. They are quite different from each other in their interest and in their character. Children, I want you to take down this. Underline the word quite here. The word quite, Q-U-I-T-E. It means very. Quite different means very different. And you already know the second word I have given here. Quiet. Q-U-I-E-T. This word means silent. Q-U-I-T-E. The pronunciation is quiet. It means very. Q-U-I-E-T. The pronunciation is quiet. It means silent. Please children, take down these two words and take down the meaning also. So let's see about the Pickwickians. The narrator describes Mr. Tracy Tubman as a middle-aged man. Here I have given you a picture just for reference. A middle-aged man, underline that. A middle-aged man is a person who is aged between 45 and 65. Tracy Tubman is a middle-aged person and he admired beautiful women. Admired, underline the term admired. It means respected and appreciated. So, Mr. Tracy Tubman always respected and appreciated beautiful women. At the same time, women also admired him. However, unfortunately, Mr. Tubman is no more handsome. The narrator uses this phrase, no longer as handsome as he had been. Underline the term no longer. It means not like before. He is not handsome like how he had been once. The narrator brings in a comparison. Once he was a romantic figure. Underline the term romantic figure. Attractive. Mr. Tracy Tubman was once a romantic figure, a very attractive person. But now he has become old. Now he is expanded. Underline the term expanded. He has become fat because of food and time. Mr. Tracy Tubman has become old. At the same time, he has been eating a lot. So he has put on weight. And one more thing, it's very funny actually. Mr. Tracy Tubman is unable even to bend to see the watch chain which he used to wear around his waist. The word waist means stomach or belly. So he wears a waistcoat. Around his waistcoat, he used to wear a watch chain. Children, you must be wondering, what is a waistcoat? Here is the picture. A waistcoat is actually an overcoat which is usually worn over a shirt and it reaches till your tummy, waist. And often a waistcoat is sleeveless. So look at this picture children. It is again another example for a waistcoat and here this man wears the waistcoat. Over that there is a chain and it has a watch. In those days men used to wear the watch around their waist. Children, you might have noticed old people. Old people tend to have double chins. Do you know what is a chin? The lower part of your jaw. Here, the narrator describes that Mr. Tracy Tubman has many chins. His face is actually drooping down. It's loose. The skin has become loose. But Tracy Tubman's soul has not changed. Here, the word soul means emotions, spirit, the feelings. Though he has become old, his feelings has not become old. He still respected and appreciated beautiful women as much as ever. Underline the phrase as much as ever. It means as usual. In behavior, he remains the same. Come on, children, let's move to the next person. The next one is Mr. Nathaniel Winkle. Unlike Mr. Tubman, Nathaniel Winkle is a young man. His father had asked Mr. Pickwick to take him during all the journeys so that Nathaniel learns something about the world. And the narrator also describes Nathaniel as a sporting young man. Underline the term sporting, it means very decent. So Nathaniel Winkle is a very decent person. But there was a drawback in his nature. Nathaniel used to speak about himself, he used to boast about himself. He would tell that he loves hunting, he is skilled in hunting, shooting, fishing, and even in other physical activities. Whenever he used to tell all these things, his friends astonished at him. Underline the term astonished, it means surprised. Oddly, no one has ever seen him doing these activities. It's funny, right? Underline the term oddly, it means unusually, not normal. So it is strange that he speaks so good about himself, but nobody has ever seen him doing these activities. And the third special friend is Mr. Augustus Snodgrass. The narrator describes Mr. Augustus Snodgrass as also a young man like Nathaniel Winkle. However, Mr. Augustus Snodgrass was taken care of by Mr. Pickwick because his parents, Augustus' parents, were dead long back. Underline the term no more, which means they were dead. And everyone used to appreciate Mr. Augustus as a poet. Again, here it's funny that the narrator says that Mr. Augustus was never seen to write a poetry. He is a poet, but no one has ever seen him writing a poem, or no one has ever seen his poem. With all these short descriptions, the narrator moves to the next episode. And the next episode has been titled as A Horse with a Weakness. And the year is 1827 as per the story. And it is early in the morning on 13th May. The narrator also describes Mr. Samuel Pickwick, and he also compares Mr. Samuel Pickwick with the sun. It means that Mr. Samuel Pickwick has woken up from his bed and he is so fresh and bright like the sun. He is ready and eager to start his journey. Mr. Samuel Pickwick lived in Goswell Street in London. Children, you know that London is the capital of England. So, as soon as he woke up, Samuel Pickwick opened his window and he could just see the buildings in the street. Children, whenever we wake up in the morning, we would think about the upcoming day or the previous day. Here, Mr. Pickwick, since he is a genius, he thinks about scientists. He decides in his mind that a scientist must always think so deeply about things around him, and he should discover the hidden things around him. With this thought in his mind, he dresses up, he packs his bags, and he gets ready for the journey. He also got a cab. Here, it is not a taxi, children. Underline the term cab, it means a coach. A coach is a long vehicle which is usually drawn by horse. Mr. Pickwick has taken up a cab because he is going to meet the three friends in a courtyard. A courtyard is a place where all the cabs, the coaches are kept. And here is a picture for you children. You can understand it better now. A cab is a coach, a vehicle which has wheels, and a cab is always drawn by a horse. I mean the cab in those days. Nowadays a cab means taxi. And do you remember children? The members of the Pickwick Club decided that Mr. Pickwick should take down notes about each and everything he saw, each and every person he met, and each and every thought that came in his mind, that occurred in his mind. So immediately Mr. Pickwick starts up a conversation with the cab driver, and he inquires about the age of the horse. Immediately the cab driver reveals that the horse is 42 years old. And Mr. Pickwick is really surprised because he has heard about horses living up to the age of 20 or sometimes even 30. But this is the first time he is hearing about a horse which has lived up to the age of 42. He is surprised and he immediately takes down this detail in his notebook. Children, underline the phrase live to be. It means live up to. The cab driver also reveals the fact that the horse works continuously for 2 or even 3 weeks. They hardly ever take it home. Underline the term hardly ever. It means never, because as soon as the horse reaches home, it falls down. This is the strange weakness about which the cab driver is speaking. Children, look at the word week. The word week, W-E-E-K, it means a week of a month. The word weak, W-E-A-K, it means not strong. So it is actually a homophone, a word with same sound but different meaning. This horse has a weakness. Weakness means a drawback. As I told you earlier, the weakness of the horse is that it falls down once it is removed from the vehicle. As long as it is tightly tied to the vehicle, it is steady and it will keep on pushing the vehicle forward. Because the two wheels are very heavy, the horse cannot escape from that. It has to go on. Underline the term go on. Here it means work continuously. And one more thing, children. The narrator uses the pronoun he to describe the horse. Can a horse be described with the word or addressed with the word he? No, children. You must use it. But here, the writer treats a horse like a human being. This kind of usage is called as personification. Personification is a method where a non-human thing, it can be an animal, it can be a bird or other living things or even a non-living thing, it is treated like a human being. Such usage is called as personification. Now Pickwick immediately takes down the details about the horse. Now there is a change in the scene. So the narrator gives a new subheading for this episode. So the new subheading is The Tall, Thin Young Man. This character is going to be very much interesting. By now, Mr. Samuel Pickwick has reached the Golden Cross. The Golden Cross is actually the name of the courtyard. Courtyard, do you remember, children? Like the shed for a train. Here, the courtyard is the place where all the cabs would be kept. And all the three friends, do you remember the names of the friends? Mr. Tupman, Mr. Winkle, and Mr. Snodgrass. All these three people are going to arrive there. By the time Mr. Pickwick got down from the cab, those three friends had reached there and they were about to greet him. Mr. Pickwick paid the cabman, but the cabman was very angry and he just threw down the money on the ground. And immediately he told that he would like to have a fight with Mr. Pickwick. Isn't it strange? And he started waving his fist. Underline the term fist, it means hand. Fists, hands. He shakes his hands, showing that he is eager to fight. He is very much angry. By this time, nearly 6 or 7 more cabmen had gathered there. They thought that this cabman is going to have a very good fun and they thought that they can enjoy the scene. And actually, the cab driver had misunderstood that Mr. Pickwick was a spy and all the three friends were spies also. Underline the term spy. Spy means a detective or a secret police agent, a police detective. Underline the term spy, it is the singular form and the plural form is spies, S-P-I-E-S. You have to remove the letter Y and add I-E-S to form the plural form. Take down this, children. Immediately, the cabman hits at the face of Mr. Pickwick. He literally knocks the glass off from the face of Mr. Pickwick. Underline the term knocked off. The word knock means hit. Here, the phrase knocked off means pushed down. The way he hit Mr. Pickwick made the glasses worn by Mr. Pickwick to fall down. The cabman started hitting everyone. He first hit Mr. Pickwick on the nose and chest. He also hit Mr. Snodgrass on the eye. He hit Mr. Tupman on his waistcoat. He literally pushed Mr. Winkle to the ground. The narrator describes this scene knocking all the breath out of his body. Underline it. Mr. Winkle almost became unconscious. He became breathless. Because of the way the cabman pushed Mr. Winkle was unable to breathe. He became unconscious almost. At this point in the scene, a tall, thin young man arrives and he starts questioning about the things happening there. Immediately, the people start shouting that those four, Mr. Pickwick and his three friends, are police spies. But Mr. Pickwick shouts that they are not police spies. The tall, thin young man tells that he believes Mr. Pickwick. The tall, thin young man convinces the cabman that Mr. Pickwick is not a spy, and he also tells that Mr. Pickwick is a well-known friend for him. Actually, Mr. Pickwick doesn't even know who this thin young man is. But the thin young man somehow tries to rescue Mr. Pickwick and his friends by telling the lie that he knows him already. And he also helps Mr. Pickwick to his feet. Underline the phrase help to his feet, which means he helped Mr. Pickwick to stand up. The tall, thin young man takes all the four, Mr. Pickwick and all the three friends, to the waiting room in the courtyard. He orders for drinks and he even orders hot water for them. He finishes his share of drinks so quickly. At that time, Mr. Pickwick was about to question him. He was very innocent. Mr. Pickwick was very much thankful for the help done by the tall, thin young man. What was the help, children? He saved Mr. Pickwick and his friends from the cabman. So Mr. Pickwick was thankful. He was about to question about the tall, thin young man. At that time, there was an announcement. And the announcement was that the next cab, the next vehicle for the place called Rochester was going to leave. Rochester is the name of a place. Immediately, this young man, this tall, thin young man, he runs away from the place. He literally shouts that he's feeling very bad that he is unable to pay for the drink. He runs away from the place saying, "Sorry, I have to ask you to pay for the drinks." Saying these words, he escapes from the place. So now, children, who has to pay for the drinks? Obviously, Mr. Pickwick. So this tall, thin young man is a genius actually. He is the real genius in this story. He tricks Mr. Pickwick. He makes Mr. Pickwick to pay for the drink which he drank. So he is very cunning and clever. Children, think deeply. Isn't it funny? All the Pickwickians, the four people, Mr. Pickwick and his three friends, who were thought to be genius, are cheated by the tall, thin young man. So, this is the end of the story. Now, what is the takeaway, children? Takeaway means moral. What is the moral you get from the story, children? Though the story is a humorous one, there is a moral, children. These Pickwickians, they were very intelligent in their own field. Like Mr. Pickwick was a genius in science. Likewise, the other three members, the other three Pickwickians, they were also genius in their own fields. But what happened at the end? They were cheated by the tall, thin young man. So the moral is that no matter how intelligent you are in your own field, you can never be wise or you can never become successful unless and until you have the knowledge about the world. You must understand about the people around you. We must be aware of the people around us. Only that can help you to become successful in your life. With this, we have come to the end of the video. Children, I hope you would have enjoyed the video and you would have understood the lesson better. I also want you to go through the lesson after this video. Try to have reading practice, children. So, let's meet in the next video. Thank you so much, children.